I didn't want a baby brother, so I returned him, the girl proudly told her parents. Outside, the marabou stork pulled flesh greedily from the small carcass lying at its feet. Everyone has their death date visibly hanging over their heads. People eventually came to accept this. Why am I the only one who is mine set to last year? Martha had tried poisoning her husband in many different ways. And even though she succeeded in killing him each time, he was always at the kitchen table to next morning waiting for his beloved's cooking. Everyone was shocked that the plane that went missing over 50 years ago suddenly requested to land. We were only on the flight for 5 hours. One of the passengers said. The dark sky swirls with rage, growls as thick clouds of dust twist malevolently beneath it. My cold skin breaks out in gooseflesh as I watch the red eye of the storm slowly blink. I asked the devil why he wanted me to witness the punishments of all those tortured souls on our walk through hell. To let them see how good they have it, he replied before escorting me to my eternal fate. The aliens finally came to our planet. Our military quickly took care of them though. We found out where they came from and are now headed towards their planet they call Earth. My dad begged me not to make any noise or the intruders would hear us. What he doesn't know is I promised them both a piece of the inheritance when he dies. As I examined the carpenter's work, I wondered why the mannequins were carved with eye sockets yet no eyes. As their splintery wooden fingers bore into my face, I could see my answer. I panicked when I dropped my engagement ring down the sink drain. I was even more panicked when it was suddenly handed back to me. She begs me not to let her die as the car catches fire. I hug her close and comfort her over and over again. I guess not even the afterlife can cure dementia. I'm still a little confused about No Not November. It's been a year now and they haven't grown back. Excitedly, I zapped myself with my newly invented grown ray, and watched myself grow to the size of a building. Unfortunately, the 8 billion germs on my body grew too. Being lost for 3 days in the Canadian winter wilderness is awful. I still can't believe it got hot enough to take my shirt and pants off today. They keep telling me that I'll be a great mother. What terrifies me is that my captors never specified what I was going to be the mother of. The 2 celestial bodies rapidly closing in towards our solar system were almost the size of the solar system itself. No one could make sense of their bird-like shapes until the sun started to hatch. I drenched her in sugar syrup as she giggled. Then her giggles vanished as I let out the ants. When the genie granted me the wish to be the fastest human alive, I ran east coast to west coast in only 10 seconds. But I wonder which other humans are that fast, because the things chasing me definitely aren't. I offered the homeless chap a hot shower, a shave, and a chance to make his life into something delicious. I've never seen A Clockwork Orange and my boyfriend is obsessed with Stanley Kubrick, so we watched it last night. The movie was alright, but the rape scene was disturbing, more so due to the fact that I glanced at my boyfriend, who grinned and whispered to me, "This is my favorite part." Most people think that the worst part of a medical professional's job is dealing with the deaths. Believe me, that's a piece of cake compared to dealing with the ones who won't stay dead. "Don't worry, sweetie," my mom said as she ran her fingers through my hair. "I told the police that you lied about what he did, now we can all be a family again." I thought werewolves were supposed to be humans that turn into wolves at night. Well, it's night, so why the hell is there a naked guy with a collar curled up on my dog's bed? I got a call from my daughter saying she was depressed, so drove back home, only to find her lifeless body with her head splattered everywhere. The last thing I said to her was, "I'll see you soon," and I'm going to keep to my word no matter what. They all ask how many kids came to my house for trick or treat. None of them ask how many lefts. My face is but a flower of flesh. Every night, I peel away the bloody face petals, revealing a terrifying seed head of nightmares, dispersed in the howling wind. My father just called joyfully to tell me that my sister finally turned up after being missing for 12 years. I felt a shiver down my spine, knowing that it couldn't be her. She had already stopped breathing when I buried her. Leaving the dying world infested with zombies behind, I managed to teleport to a time before it all happened. Happy to be in a zombie-free world, I felt a pang of pain in my right leg. I saw that the scratch I had gotten from a zombie was now red and infected. It's nearing 3 a.m., and though I forgot my charger downstairs, I refuse to stop looking at my phone. The pair of eyes peering over the edge of my bed hasn't noticed I can see them, but I'm almost out of power and I'm afraid of what might happen when the room goes completely dark. After I served my abusive husband his favorite dish with a smile, I retreated to the bedroom and burst out in tears. I'm not actually sad, just practicing for the funeral. As the house started shaking, I lay on the soft floor and come to a disturbing realization. This isn't a house, just something trying very hard to look like one. Reading all these stories are starting to make my skin crawl. Great, now I got to go catch it. In case of fire, read the following post. You cheated, I haven't set the fire yet. I hugged the tree closest to me, as I had been taught to do if I ever got lost in the woods. Getting lost in the woods was scary, but not as scary as getting hugged back. The mechanism in video games where you can't sleep if there are monsters nearby is such BS. I mean, I see you sleeping fine every night, right? My 4-year-old son cried incredibly loudly as I took all of the dolls out of his bed this morning and set fire to them in the kitchen sink. He's too young to remember that he was tucked in without them last night. Please like and subscribe, and tap the notification bell icon below to get notified of more Reddit DTS videos. This is Reddit Joe Channel, your everyday Reddit.